Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Secrets of the Sire. We talk comics, movies, TV, pop culture every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on talkradio.nyc. I'm your host, Michael Dolce, alongside my always official co-host, Hassan Godwin.
As opposed to unofficial co-host? Who's your unofficial co-host?
The interns?
That's a good save.
Yeah.
I thought you actually had, like a guy in the bathroom.
Well, I'm always, it's like the minor leagues, though. I've got people, always
you got
being
people lined up, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow,
right? Or
the show must go on.
I'm just one verbal mishap away from losing this position.
Several. Because our entire show is a verbal mishap. So I mean, you'd have to really go.
So then I'm all right then.
You'd have to really go out there to you'd have to offend
this is not really
trolls
funny to me
or something or
trolls.
Yeah, like you'd have to actually offend trolls to the point where trolls would troll you for trolling them.
Wow.
Yeah, multi-troll.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
I know. It's not easy to do.
So I'm all right then.
So we're not on Periscope, so we had no troll tonight.
Right. And you don't have that wrestling match of the man against machine that we have to see every week. That's kind of the reason.
Well, it's not easy. It's not easy. Like it actually hurts a little that he's not that we're not on Periscope. We miss you, Fecaleon. Go to our Facebook feed.
Yeah,
Facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire. You can catch our live feed. So I got to be honest. I mean, I'm a little TV'd, radio showed out. I mean, Monday I was on Better Connecticut. I was talking about organizing collectibles. Go to our Facebook page. You can watch that video feed. A lot of prep, a lot of driving. It was like 2 hours away. I had to drive to. A lot of setting up. I had to set up all these props and comic book props.
Okay.
And I was happy to give a shout out to our friends at Zenoscope. I gave a little, had one of the comics was from them.
Right.
I was happy to give a shout out to Joel Mulvey. His book. I put his book on the shelf.
Yeah.
Omar Morales, the Crusader book. It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
4 minutes. Segment was 4 minutes. So literally 3 hours of driving and prep work. Get up there, follow the script. 4 minutes. Great. Now break it down. Get on out of here. That was it. And then there was another 2 hours driving.
Yeah, but
home.
you were out and about though.
That was the entire day. Yeah. That was the entire day.
You could have done things, man.
Maybe.
You could have made. No.
And then yesterday we were both guests on the Robin Callie show.
Yes,
which
we
is
were.
Every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. right here on talkradio.nyc.
Yes, it is.
So and we had a great heated argument where we basically just talked the entire show. So much appreciation for the patience of Robin Callie for letting us go.
Most people I find have to have patience with us. That has to be their big virtue.
Well, that kind of describes our entire audience, right?
Yeah,
they
pretty
have
much.
a lot of patience with
We don't really like them, but we're giving it some time.
Yeah. So really funny, and we'll talk about the mystery box, and we'll talk about our friends on Patreon and all that fun stuff in a second. I mean, last week we had so much show. We had so much show. We did a nice job. We got all these topics in, but all this news was breaking. And meanwhile, this time around, this week, I'm scouring. I'm looking around. I'm
there's
well,
no news. You're saying there's no news.
It's like the summertime. It's like everyone just checked out for a week. Everyone. Spider-Man comes out next week,
right?
And we're gonna have a.
Everyone's gearing up for next week's 4th of July.
Yeah,
So they're saving it up.
I know, and we're gonna have Ultimate Spider-Man writer Brian Smith. That's not Brian Michael Bendis. Sorry.
Now you've made Brian Smith sound small.
Well, he doesn't listen to the show, and he knows he's not Brian Michael Bendis. But
everybody who isn't Brian Michael Bendis,
right? Exactly. I mean, that's not an insult at all. I'll bring it up to him when he's on the show. But we're going to have him on. We're going to have. So he's from Marvel. He's going to be talking about Spider-Man, talk about the new movie, talking about all that stuff. But again, that's next week. I mean, we could talk about it this week, but. So
you've got show envy for next week's show.
Oh, absolutely! It's going to be great. And then the week after, we get to talk about it. I mean,
right.
Again,
so you got show envy for the next 2 weeks, right?
And then we have Kevin Kilner from House of Cards.
3 weeks now. We're at 3 weeks.
Quantico, and he was on Dollhouse. He's coming on July 19th.
Wow, you're that ahead.
And we're going to be talking about
tonight?
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is coming back. How great is that?
So why don't we just leave and come back?
I think that's it.
All right.
I think you pretty much.
So thank you very much for coming.
It's been a great show.
Yeah,
Sam. No, so what we did today is I found an article in it, and I thought it was actually pretty good.
Saving grace, right?
Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, nobody sees behind the scenes. He came to me. He's like, I found this article. We're all right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna be fine. And
Well,
I'm like, were we in danger? Yes, we
do have the Comic Noobs podcast.
Why are you
guys.
whispering? I don't know. It's just us, and we're in an outside restaurant. Why are you whispering?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have laryngitis.
The dog next to us really freaked me out a little
bit. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy. You're talking in code now, Michael.
You don't know if that dog was a real dog. I mean, they could be just like a plant.
No,
just
yes. There are other podcasts who want our podcast secrets.
This is true. So we invited another podcast on our show tonight.
Right.
The Comic Noobs podcast.
Right.
So they're going to be on as well.
We need to form alliances, right? Because people have mechanical dogs that
I'm
steal
getting
podcast
excited.
secrets.
I'm getting excited because they are actually a hilarious... they're not as funny as us. Like, we're funnier. There's no question.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we got them. There's
no question.
So I feel better now.
Yeah.
Then I'm not...
I'm just easing the insecurities.
I was going to be... Yeah,
they
I was
are
going to be in the corner. They
are probably funnier than us.
So
yeah.
Well, what are you doing?
They're going to enhance our show. They're going to enhance our show.
Well, it's not a... No, you don't do that.
But we get to talk about comics with them, which I'm excited about.
That is a high and a low, what you just did.
I am excited. Yeah.
Don't do highs and lows.
No?
All right, no.
Keep it
no,
middle?
I don't handle highs and lows very well.
All right, so I found this article, and I thought it was really, really good.
We're back to the article again.
It was how the DCEU changed the Marvel plan.
Yeah, it was like how the DCEU changed the Marvel plan. I'm like, why are you whispering this to me? I don't know.
I mean, I could do it on here, too. But
that dog's not real.
Comic fans may not agree on the success of DC's movie universe, but one thing's for sure, those in charge of it don't seem anywhere near as panicked as the rumors would have fans thinking. And while some have gone so far as to suggest that Wonder Woman's box office and critical success could be bad for DC's other properties, because they'd have to rewrite everything now to follow up on Wonder Woman's success. DC's every report of internal struggles seem to be quashed within hours. Even when the critics, pundits, and bloggers agree that Wonder Woman shows what DC must become, Jeff Johns goes on the record and says, "We don't need to change any of our heroes. We don't need to change our formula to match all that."
Thank God.
So if you didn't know any better, it might seem that DC's failures in keeping pace with the Marvel Universe, their competition, weren't being treated as failures at all now that they've had a success with Wonder Woman.
They're just not perceived as failures now that they've had a success.
And
nothing speaks like success. Nothing justifies everybody's plans and turns idiots into geniuses like one success story.
Right. It's like you have a win, and then all of a sudden everything changes, right?
Yeah,
it's like when you're on a losing streak as a baseball team and everything's going wrong, but then you get that one home run and then you're on a roll.
The genius of this of the strategy to make us think that they were going to lose the entire season and then just win a game.
Right, but that's kind of what they're talking about here. And they're saying that the old assumptions are hard to change, which means the DCEU's determination to not simply copy the Marvel formula for success, which was seen as a mistake, is now they're following their own strategy.
Who saw it as a mistake?
I think everybody saw it as a mistake.
Here's that everybody thing again. We got to get everybody on the show. We really do.
That's not big enough.
I just want to hear Mr. Everybody.
Well, okay.
And hear his justifications for thinking that anything is anything.
But we talked about this, though. I mean, we talked about it at length
and we never agree on the everybody
thing.
That's so you're always throwing everybody at me, but I'm like, I want to know who qualifies that.
All right, so we talk about the critical success, and we talk about film critics.
Right.
That's one.
Right.
You talk about the general fan reaction.
Those jerks.
Which is two. Right. And again, we've talked about it. Whether a movie is financially successful versus whether it's actually good.
Right. And my point is that the studios are only listening to the dollar votes.
Right.
And everyone...
But no, that's actually not true at all, though, because, when Deadpool became very successful and Batman v Superman tanked from a critical standpoint, they went in and demanded reshoots on Suicide Squad. They changed that movie specifically. So they are listening. So even though Batman v Superman made money, they listened to that.
But they didn't cancel Suicide Squad.
No, but they tweaked it. And they furiously tried to fix it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Let's think about this.
Yeah.
What success did Deadpool have that made the studios decide to retweak Suicide Squad?
It was not only financial, but it was critical buzz,
really,
and fan buzz.
Do you think of that movie?
Do you think Deadpool hit all three of those areas? If we're defining those criteria, did Deadpool get critical praise? Did it get fan praise? And did it get financial success?
I would say sure. Yeah.
And if you're looking at Batman v Superman, would you say financial success? Mm-hmm. I'd actually say kind of not, because if you put Batman v Superman up against, say, like the Avengers, it didn't make as much money.
Yeah, but you put anything up against the Avengers. You put the King's Speech up next to Avengers.
That's what this article is talking about, and that's how we were talking about how the Marvel
we're arguing the validity of the argument of the article.
The Marvel way was and used to be, the Marvel way was, and they said it specifically, no one is going to care about the Avengers if they don't care about the people on the Avengers. And so they made it a point to do the solo movies, the Iron Man movies, the Captain America movies, all these movies prior, so that by the time you get to Avengers, it's a really big deal that everyone's kind of coming together. And the DC method now, which was seen as a failure up until Wonder Woman, was... people already know who these guys are. They know who Batman is. They know who Wonder Woman is. They know who Superman is.
I understand the point, but we're gonna backtrack a minute. Do you think if Deadpool was financially unsuccessful, though critically and like artistically lauded as a great achievement, do you think the studio would have spent the money to change Suicide Squad to be like a movie that was financially unsuccessful?
No, you're right.
But was critically acclaimed.
They wouldn't have. But the critical displeasure and the critical non-success and the fan response to Batman v Superman would have inspired them to change Suicide Squad no matter what. So it does kind of play. They might not have copied the Deadpool model. You know, they might not have went with the funny advertising and marketing.
Now you've moved the goalpost. The point was your point. Yeah, but you're strong, but your strategy sucks. The point was basically that because this thing was critically satisfying as well as financially successful, it caused them to make a change. And now you've just admitted, but if it wasn't financially successful, they wouldn't have spent the money to make that change.
No. They would have made the change, but they wouldn't have modeled it after what was financially successful. Because the critical deadpanning that Batman v Superman got from both the fans and critics caused them to change what they were going to do. And no matter what, they were going to change it. What they decided to model it after was something that hit all three notes.
But you're just saying that they wouldn't have based that model off of that if it was not financially successful.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It doesn't really matter the critical acclaim.
No, but it does though, because again,
if it was critically acclaimed yet it didn't make any money, then and you're admitting that they wouldn't have used the template if it was financially unsuccessful,
have marketed the movie like they did.
Then the main gist of it is finances. The main gist of the whole thing is to make money.
Agreed. From the studio point of view, it's to make money.
Right. This is all we're arguing, though.
But Batman v Superman made money, but suffered bad reviews and bad response. That's what kickstarted them to say to attack Suicide Squad and say we can't do what we did here. So it does. All three play a role. All three play a role.
I know, but I'm telling you, nothing says unsuccessful like a flop.
Yes.
Okay, everything is debatable other than a flop. John Carter was a flop, so no one debated the merits of the artistic integrity of that movie because it was a flop on all levels.
So
right?
let me ask you. Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
No, I was done.
You were done with the John Carter, yeah.
Well. I wasn't. I was going to go into I had a haiku.
I know
we're
up against the commercial break. That's why.
Unfortunately, we'll stop.
See how little inside radio. See how that works.
I'm with you. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question though: with the success of Wonder Woman now, and the fact that Guardians was a nice movie. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It made money. It got critical success. It did all that stuff. Spider-Man is probably going to be really good. I feel like DC, everything DC does now, and now that they got the win under their belt, they are the most interesting studio, and they're making things that are events now. Like Justice League is going to be an event.
What has changed?
We'll talk about that when we come back.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Do you want to connect with?
Are you an entrepreneur or intrapreneur looking to build your following?
Welcome to our show.
Follow Me Friday with Joan
and Priya.
Tune in every Friday at noon Eastern
on talkradio.nyc.
We're your digital connectors. Woo woo!
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
Chipotle?
Did I mispronounce that?
Chakotay from Star Trek.
Chipotle?
It's Chipotle. You eat the
You know
food
I don't
every
speak
week.
Spanish.
Yes. I'm sorry.
You ate a whole wheel of cheese and you pooped in the fridge?
That was too diverse, right? That was
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every week. We talk comics, movies, TV, pop culture. I do want to give a shout out to our beloved patrons. Go to patreon.com/Secrets of the Sire. Donate $1 to become an insider. Become an insider. That's really what we want you guys to be. We do this really cool green room every week where we have an exclusive Google chat, Google Hangout. You can come hang out with us, talk with us in the studio. We can find out, how Trista did at the prom. What great conversations we've had. I mean, that riveting stuff in our green room, and it's like $1 a show, or it's $0.25 a show. Get your name set, pronounced on air. You get my show outline, which was a little late because, again, scouring the internet for good things to talk about.
So then why would they want that then?
It doesn't matter. They get it. They always get it. They always get it.
Don't try to sell your shortcomings there.
That's all.
Yeah, you'll get this.
So we try to do every week.
It might come late. It might suck, but you can have it.
We have dedicated.
Become a Patreon.
We have dedicated fans: Einar Peterson, Matt Beyer, Ashley Haikai, our program director Stephanie Dolce, our executive producer Steve Ovecki, Brian Phillips, and Christina Gillen, and as always our Uber fan Christina Dolce. So again, just go on to patreon.com, become an insider. You get your name shouted out on the airwaves.
But it helps if you're related to us in some way. Obviously, that's.
Well, I mean, yeah, doesn't hurt.
More of our relatives should be Patreon.
It doesn't hurt. Yeah.
It doesn't. Money is money. Money spends.
So we were talking about, what defines success, and now we kind of started talking about how Wonder Woman now, because of how successful it was, gives DC something it never had before, which is kind of leverage. It can be just as like it's. In fact, to me, it's more interesting. I'm looking forward to Justice League now to see if they can. Is it going to be the train wreck that it was?
I just don't get it, because everything is exactly the same as it was a couple of weeks ago before Wonder Woman. And actually, Wonder Woman as a film itself, as a story, broke no molds. It was a good movie. It was a great film.
It broke DC molds, though.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
Sure.
It broke their color scheme.
That's what we're going to do for the next.
That's all it did.
We're going to do that for the next 40 minutes. No, it didn't. Yeah, it did. No, it didn't.
You're going to do that. You do it for both of us. I'll just sit here and wait.
That's how we kill a show. So
right? Yeah.
Show killer.
Good work. Good work.
Excellent stuff. Yeah.
It broke no molds.
Well,
it really didn't. It didn't. It was your classic superhero origin story.
How's that? It was good. That broke a mold.
Therein lies an argument.
But I'm just saying,
I do not argue that the movie was good.
Yeah.
I argue, was it any better than the other movies?
Yes. Much better.
Of course you think.
Much better.
Because that's not your argument. It's my argument.
What? That it's much better than the other movies?
Huh?
I don't know what you're talking about. All right.
Of course not.
But now
you tried,
DC
but it didn't work.
Though, do DC films now feel like more of an event? I mean, we were just talking about Guardians. Guardians 2 had a lot of hype coming up to it, and it was a good movie, and I enjoyed it. But as quickly as it came in, it's now gone. We're on to the next thing, which is Spider-Man. Spider-Man's going to be good.
Wonder Woman's kind of gone as quickly as it came in. They're still talking about it because it was
talking about it.
Yeah, they were still talking about the Avengers when the Avengers came out. The first one came out.
Agreed. When the first one came out, because it was new, and it was good.
No, it wasn't new. It was freshness. It was the freshness of the brand.
But that's I guess the point of what I'm talking about.
Just
Are
arguing
we over the Marvel universe in a sense?
No.
Is it now become? They're always good movies, but are we as excited to see these movies Are we
going to be perpetually excited to see every movie that every studio puts out for the rest of our lives? No.
Not every movie. No.
Are you perpetually excited for every issue of your favorite comic book? Every single issue?
Yes, I am.
Sometimes you read them and you're like, all right, that was
Stray
good.
Bullets.
Huh?
Stray Bullets. Love it. Every single time.
And that's an outlier.
Yes.
There you go then.
That is an
Ding,
outlier.
I win.
That doesn't make sense at all.
It's an outlier.
I don't know. Where did you get the ding from? What's the ding?
Because I won. That's not the norm.
No, it's not the norm.
You goon.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
You never win. That's
no. That was a reverse.
Oh,
that was a
see what I did
reverse.
there? Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I know. No, it wasn't good.
Sorry, are you excited for Spider-Man? I mean, like
I'm not talking to you anymore.
No. This show is brought to you by me, and it's only me because
I have been excited for Spider-Man since I don't know, like 2002.
Sure, but put any Marvel film in there. Are you excited for Infinity War?
Sure, I'm interested. I'm not excited. I'm not even excited for Star Wars. So
okay, wait. So let me rephrase the question though. I mean, what I'm trying to ask is on a list of like must see. If you had to order the movies coming up in the next year, I am really curious to see what the Aquaman movie is going to be. I'm very curious to see how JLA is going to be. I'm very curious to see, but above
that's
all,
curiosity.
But that's above That's above any Marvel movie that's coming out right now. Like any Marvel.
So what does that mean though? That doesn't.
That's the question I'm posing. What does that mean? Does that mean that we're kind of done with Marvel in a sense? Like, does Marvel have to up the ante in Infinity War?
If you were done with Marvel?
I don't mean done in the sense of like I'm not going to go see the movie, but I'm not going to be upset if I don't see the movie or if I have to wait for it to come on cable.
So what do you think that means?
I think that's the question I'm asking. Is that a general?
Why would you ask that question if that's how you felt?
Marvel fatigue question. Like, is there Marvel fatigue out there? Has DC captured the audience? You know, for months, and you can go back to our SoundCloud page, soundcloud.com/Secrets of the Sire, and you can look at all of our previous episodes, and it's DC can't do anything right. DC can't get out of their own way. DC can't make a good film. DC's, just terrible. They're not even close to Marvel. They're not even, and now I feel like they are the must-see. Like, I have to go see it.
Doesn't that just make us sound fickle?
Well, we are kind of fickle. I mean,
there you go.
We are the mob.
That's the answer to your question.
Pitchforks.
I don't. The pitchforks are heavy.
The pitchforks are kind of.
And it's dark outside.
I'm
never on the moors because I've seen what happens to people out there.
Is it the Moops?
Huh?
It's the Moops.
The Moops?
Come on.
Yeah.
The best thing is we have.
Look at me like I'm an idiot for not getting that reference. That's a good idea.
We have interns that weren't even born when that episode came out of Seinfeld. Actually, I think all of.
I never watched Seinfeld.
You never did?
No.
Oh, so brilliant! It's brilliant.
I can't watch a show where everybody is hateful.
They weren't hateful.
I can't stand anyone on that show.
They weren't hateful.
They're the kind of people you'd want to smack in real life.
Well, that I agree with. 100%.
I'm not going to watch a show like that.
No, 100%. I think that's the thing. So Tom Hutchinson actually, we posed this question
crowd participation,
online, and I wrote with have fans grown tired of the MCU? And he said, I don't think they are tired of it, but it has a feeling of being plateaued, and that's a really good way to say it. Have they plateaued?
Oh my God.
Are you going to get? There's no way right now any Marvel movie coming out can equal the excitement that I felt for Avengers when it came out.
I'm too old for this conversation.
Well, that's again,
I'm too old because I like an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of getting steady quality out of something. Like there's going to be always a quality experience out of it. If I am looking for an adrenaline rush in everything that anybody puts out, there's something wrong with me. There's not something wrong with the product. There's really something wrong with me.
So you actually feel that you are an inferior human being if you are actually like getting like super
if you want
duper
the
excited for
same
something.
experience, the same elation, the same religious experience out of every piece of entertainment that any one studio puts out.
Yeah,
there's something wrong with you.
So you just alienated their entire audience, like all of them.
That's what I usually do.
That's true.
So
now,
I'm being consistent. I'm giving the same quality.
Now, what did
performance?
What did Brian Abraham say that was so?
He liked John Carter.
So the whole prequel debates.
It's over.
Did you ding that? Did you ding?
I dinged him.
You dinged?
I dinged him.
Well,
it was more of a ha-ha, but that's the ding.
Before we go to commercial, and before we bring on the Comic Noobs, which is good. Kevin Feldman is going to be coming in, and he's going to be joining us in just 30
he'll
seconds.
Take your side.
Let me ask this question real quick, and I asked this out to the audience, and I want to know the audience. The fact that the Infinity War is going to be the final chapter for some beloved characters, according to Kevin Feige, does that up the ante? Will that flip the switch back next year when we come back?
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
If you have an interest in marijuana, you want to know about marijuana, law, policy, and culture, then feel free to join me, Joseph A. Bondi, every Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning on my show In the Know 420 on TalkingAlternative.com.
Legalize the herb to continue to resist the passage of this necessary legislation.
Hi, this is Rob Kay.
And I'm Callie Alpert.
And we're hosts of The Rob and Callie Show. Are you looking for a show that talks about real stuff like life, love, the pursuit of being yourself?
Then you have come to the right place, because we cover topics ranging from chivalry to gratitude to your relationship with money and everything in between.
So listen to us on The Rob and Callie Show, Tuesdays, 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on talkradio.nyc.
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
Vision for the film and decided to part ways.
Yeah, that's one of those things where these guys showed up really late to this meeting and they were drunk and they were throwing cake around, and we decided to get them out of the building. That's kind of the creative differences. Or I might be speaking from personal.
That was your bad experience.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every week. We talk comics, movies, TV, pop culture. Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc. We stream it live, facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire. Before we get to our guest, I just want to remind everybody, superhero stuff. We got the Hero Box. We got the Mystery Box, $79 worth of stuff for just $49. If you're on our Facebook page and want to buy something cool, go click on the Shop Now button, and they've got a Mystery Box. You can't beat that. Kevin, can you beat a Mystery Box?
You can't be a mystery box
because you just don't know what's in it, right? I mean, it's a mystery. Woo.
Well, there might be great stuff in there. You never know what's in there.
Yeah,
this is
emphasis
true.
on the word might.
See, I mean, it could be awful, but at the same time, it's a mystery. So you feel like you at least get some validation.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to welcome Kevin
if it has
Veldman.
Mystery on it. It's got to be great, right?
It has to be from the Comic Noobs podcast. So first of all, you guys have like the best titles for all your shows. By the way, like I was like looking through your catalog of shows and just. I mean, like, for example, for the audience out there, Space Shit is Radioactive. That was one of your episodes. Panther God says F you. Awesome. Where do you guys come up with that stuff? And talk about the show real quick.
Honestly, most of the titles are just comments my co-host Sobe makes on the comics that we're covering for the day. Usually there's something pretty awesome in there, like... Space Shit is Radioactive. Missile to the Tits, I think, is my all-time favorite. And basically what we do is we feel like people, like, we love the Marvel movies. We're big MCU fans. Mm-hmm. And, so lots of people, including my co-host Sobe, have never, like, read a Marvel comic. And so I was like, well, hey, you could learn all about these characters in between movies. And so we go through Marvel comics, and we talk about, the most important and the most fun and sometimes the most iconic comic book stories.
And you were listening to the previous segment. I mean, what's your take? I mean, is DC... To me, DC's this train wreck that we've got to watch, but now all of a sudden it's gone from just being a train wreck to, hey, they can actually make good movies. And I'm more excited for the upcoming DC films than I am the Marvel films.
I've got a couple. I don't know. You might catalog these as hot takes, I guess. I was a fan of Man of Steel. I liked Man of Steel quite a bit. Like it wasn't perfect. It definitely had some pacing issues, but I did not like Batman versus Superman. It had a ton of issues, but I feel like a lot of those issues were due to studio interference. And now that studio interference is out of the way, they did that to set up their universe. And now that that's done,
sure.
I've been pretty confident in the movies going forward. I don't know what happened with Suicide Squad. I was super hyped for that one.
Yeah,
but
that just wasn't very good.
I didn't like it. I had fun watching it, but I did not like it very much. Wonder Woman, I'm going to be honest. I have not seen it yet. I've got a toddler at home, so getting to the movies
that is no
difficult
excuse.
Sometimes, but
no excuse. I have a 16-month-old.
Hand the child to some stranger.
Yeah, that's sound parenting advice.
Yeah, that's. Wait, you don't do that?
No.
You don't hand it?
Yeah, Hassan does not have kids.
Right. They don't bounce either,
no.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so don't listen to me.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Definitely not. So, you haven't seen Wonder Woman yet. How's that possible? Come on.
No. Like I said, you can blame it on Grayson. That's my son.
That is perfectly fair. All right. What's the big talk in the comics universe these days? Obviously, all the stuff that we love about the movies and love in the films, comes and derives from the comics. Even, the 18 comic stories they try to shove into Batman v Superman. I mean, they were all like storylines that derived from the comics that they kind of use as source material. So what's the big talk these days? I know Captain America being a Nazi was a big deal last year, but now it's kind of cooled off because it's a cosmic cube thing. But, what are the must-reads right now?
Honestly, the one everybody's really hyped about right now is this big event going on in DC called Metal. They just released the first issue last week, I believe, and man, it was awesome. It's going to involve Batman, all the heroes, really. It's really interesting stuff. I've done my research on DC. I haven't read as much DC as Marvel. But I've done my research, and they're introducing new elements, which is always good because there's so many elements out there that you can recycle so many of them so often.
Oh, yeah.
DC's introducing new ones, so I'm really pumped about that.
What about the legacy announcements from Marvel? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was the big. So Marvel came out and they said, we're going to change the comic industry. This is going to be an industry changer, that you cannot overstate the importance of this. And then the next day, they showed us some variant covers, which we see every fucking week.
Yeah, no, I know. I guess their big announcement is they're just renumbering everything, which annoys the heck out of me because it's like, dude, they did this years ago and then they numbered them back, and then they go, well, no, we need 18 new number ones, and then they flag everything as number one. Now they're like, no, we're going to go back to legacy numbering, and it's going to be huge.
They did it in 2015. They renumbered everything to number one. So what? They're going back to the old numbering system?
Yeah.
Like, that's not an announcement. That's a bureaucratic paper push.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
Absolutely horrible. Now you had an interesting take on a couple different things though too, which was one, you see the future of the Marvel universe being like Marvel Cosmic. You think the Green Lantern Corps could be, the next thing. I think the Green Lantern Corps. I don't think that's gonna fly. But I love your take on Marvel Cosmic and Guardians of the Galaxy being the next push that they end up doing after Infinity War.
Oh yeah, Marvel. So since the beginning of Marvel, they've had awesome cosmic stuff. If you can go back and read the '70s stuff written by Jim Starlin, it's amazing. You get introductions of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. You get the original Captain Marvel, Quasar, all sorts of awesome characters. You're going to see a couple of them, like the Grandmaster is coming up in Thor Ragnarok. They're bringing Thor into the cosmic universe a little bit. There's just so much great cosmic stuff. And then when you get into 2004, Marvel started a really amazing cosmic saga with Annihilation. Just some of their best Marvel comics, and it's quieter. It's kind of down low. Lots of people it's not as popular as the superhero stuff.
Sure,
but honestly, Marvel has some of the greatest space stuff. It could rival Star Wars. It could be the next Star Wars because it's just that good.
What do you think, Hassan? Could it beat Star Wars?
Marvel?
Yeah.
No.
Hot take. That's a hot take right there.
I'm going to be honest, Hassan. I haven't agreed with a single damn thing you've said on this podcast. So
what a surprise. I actually said that before the commercial break. He's going to agree with everything you say.
Well, because I'm very, very likable.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to.
That's what it must be.
It is. It's the fact that I'm on camera. Yeah, that's what it all comes down to. Talk to us about Super Reality TV, because that's pretty dope what you guys are doing there.
Oh, okay. So we had our big 50-episode special, and my co-host Sobi, he's a big reality TV fan, and so we were like, okay, let's mix these two things. For our big 50th episode special, let's let's cast a whole season of Big Brother and talk, and just all with superheroes from Marvel and DC. And let's talk about how like the interpersonal relationships would play out. It was really funny. We like went through every week and who would get voted out of the house and everything. And it got such a great response that now we do at the end of every episode, or almost every episode, we just kind of put in the next week of the reality show. We did The Bachelorette with She-Hulk. That was hilarious. Right now we're on Superhero Survivor.
Who did She-Hulk choose? Who did she give the rose
tribes
to?
Have just combined. Joker and Deadpool are looking like some of the front runners because nobody can compete with the chaos.
There you go. Who did she give the rose to? She-Hulk.
She gave the rose to Nightwing, Dick Grayson.
He's a very handsome lad. Hey, we are actually a live call-in show, and we very rarely get live callers. But we do have Dexter on line 1 wants to ask a question. I figure, why not? Kevin, you're ready to go, right? We can answer any question out there. What do you think?
I am ready for Dexter.
Boom, Dexter, line 1.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask why you would even have this guy on to talk about DC Comics. He's a Marvel Comics shill. He's getting paid by Disney. He hasn't even watched Wonder Woman.
This is very true. So wait, let's analyze this question because I think it's a very good question. How are you getting paid? Like, how are you actually making money? Because we can't seem to make any money off this, and we would like to. So please give us your secret.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Disney pays me directly. I get my checks from Disney, and they are all signed by the CEO of Disney, and they also say, it's weird, they say in the memo slot, they say, oh, and by the way, fuck Dexter.
I told you he's a shill. He gave Iron Man 3 a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Iron Man 3 is an excellent movie, and I will defend it to this day.
Boy, you've really ruined the entire credibility of our show.
He doesn't agree with anything I say, but he likes Iron Man 3. Okay. All right. Brian
Everham. Yeah, Brian Everham.
Brian with John Carter.
John Carter.
Yeah, all right.
But
yeah, you
not
guys
like the prequels.
No.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
How do you like Iron Man? Well, no, I'll say this. Iron Man 3 was better than Iron Man 2. Hands
by
down.
far.
What's that?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean,
By far, Iron Man 3 is better
the
than Iron Man
last piece of poop I ate was better than the first piece of poop I ate. But I still ate 2 pieces of poop.
It's still, yeah.
Oh,
all right.
You know what the
there
problem
it is.
It's fans whining about what they did to the Mandarin. Aside from, if you take the Mandarin comics out of the situation, there's no complaints to be made. The pacing was perfect. The timing of the comedy was great. The acting was amazing.
Except for the fact that Iron Man was in the film one time, and it wasn't Iron Man. Other than that, it's a great film.
It's a masterpiece.
Dexter, get out of here.
We'll take our call off. Dexter, thank you for calling in. If anybody else wants to call in, it's 877-480-4120. We are a live call-in show, which I love when our guests have guests that take advantage of that, and we never really hype it up as much as we possibly
they don't.
should.
People are afraid. But
Kevin, before I let you go, give me your take on Spider-Man coming out next week. Our Marvel shill and all. Let's hear it. What do we think?
Oh, I am pumped about this Spider-Man movie. I was a little bit nervous right up until the embargo was lifted. The reviews have all come out excellent.
Yep.
I was a big fan of Tom Holland's quick appearance in Civil War, but I thought it was pretty good. I think he could make a great Spider-Man. I'm really pumped to see my childhood crush, Marissa Tomei, on screen once again.
I agree with you 100%, and she just keeps getting better looking. She's just very, very gorgeous. I'm 100% all about
She's hotter now than when she was 25.
Very strange that she's Aunt May, because it's got me all crisscrossed now, but very happy to see her on there. There's no question. All right, tell the fine folks out there where they can find you, where they can find your podcast.
Okay, you can find our show on iTunes. It's Comic Noobs Show. Comic Noobs, all one word. Comic, Noobs. Or any podcast app that connects to iTunes or Google Play or SoundCloud. You can follow us on Twitter at Comic Noobs Show. We are always interacting with fans. We get into all sorts of geeky arguments. Sometimes we talk about less nerdy things, but mostly it's geeky arguments.
I would imagine with a show like that, it's got to be 98% geek. right?
Maybe 90. We get into some other stuff too, but yeah, it's a lot of geeky stuff, and it always ends up a lot of fun and really funny. We're always interacting with fans on Twitter, so you can hit us up there. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ what is it?
Comic Noobs Show?
Facebook.com/ Comic Noobs Show. We're always interacting with people. Or you can find us on the awesome website, thegww.com. That's for geeks worldwide. It's a great website with a ton of other great stuff besides our show.
Very cool. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of Infinity War, and we're going to talk about Gal Gadot and her $300,000 paycheck she got for Wonder Woman.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Are you into comics, movies, and pop culture at large? What about music and TV? Then you're in for a treat. This is Michael Dolce, your host on TalkingAlternative.com. I've been professionally writing comic books, screenplays, and music articles for almost 15 years. Catch my show, Secrets of the Sire, at its new primetime slot, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and get the inside scoop on the pop culture universe you love to talk about. For more info, go to secretsofthesire.com.
Hello, this is Mark Torres.
And Pronto Comics Zone Dominic Sperano.
And listen to our show, It Came From the Radio, right here on talkradio.nyc, every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about entertainment, movies,
comic books, and other news.
So make sure you check us out. That's right here, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Wednesday, talkradio.nyc.
TalkingAlternative.com.
Now in theaters, Beauty and the Beast is out, and there's big controversy with two because of the supposed gay relationship that takes place,
And I thought the real controversy would be about the bestiality.
Bestiality is not a problem.
Oh, yeah.
It's just homosexuality. We don't like that. Having sex with a giant beast, that's all right.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc, and we stream it live, facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire. I want to thank Kevin Veldman again from the Comic Noobs podcast. I also want to thank Dexter for calling in. Everybody can call in. This is, theoretically speaking, a live call-in show. We turn it into a podcast afterwards. So if you do feel like talking, 877-480-4120. The one thing we noticed, though, is that...
Stir up the hornet's nest.
Is that Dexter is Kevin's troll. And now I kind of feel... I miss our troll. I miss our troll.
Now we're going to have the Periscope discussion again.
I know.
Okay.
I think, it's like a limb is gone.
You know what I'm going to do?
Maybe not like a limb, maybe
about
like a fingernail.
About this Periscope thing? You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to do the thing you want me to do the most. I'm just going to agree with everything you say whenever you talk about Periscope.
That makes it the most interesting show.
Everything you say. So Periscope sucks. No, it doesn't. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it sucks. Mike, you're right. We should never do Periscope again. I miss Periscope. You know, Mike,
good.
We should have Periscope
really
back.
Good.
Yeah.
I like
That'd be
that.
a great show.
Solid strategy.
Yeah.
Craig Caruso actually chimed in. He wants to know more about what we think about Infinity War. And one of the things that we did actually, there was a news item. And I was going to lead with this at one point too, but
don't bury the lead.
But don't bury the lead is that we know Infinity War will be a superhero bonanza, but in this case, Infinity War will mark the end for certain characters in the MCU. Most notably, people are thinking Captain America on the chopping block, Robert Downey Jr. He's appeared in like 18 films. It's exaggeration. Not by much, though. But those are the two main figureheads that people think are going to either be killed off or we're not going to see them ever again.
They're just going to walk away.
They're just going to walk away?
Yeah, sunset, walk away.
But, and that's the one thing that Marvel Universe hasn't done, I think, had the major death. And Marvel Comics has always been famous for it. So, I
mean, they could die, but they probably won't. Like, movie studio science says we can make more money.
I know.
We kill them off.
I know, but but that would make. I mean, that would
then
really
we won't make any more money.
That would basically, kind of encapsulate everything we're kind of talking about. Like, how do you capture the excitement? You got to put these guys in danger. You got to put these guys in some sort of. I can't always assume they're going to make it out alive.
See, that's strange. I watch those movies and I never think, oh, Cap's in danger. I'm never thinking like that. I'm just like, this is pretty solid. I'm enjoying this. This is pretty serious. And then, because it's a superhero movie. So if I watch a Superman movie, with the exception of the movie where Superman did die, I'm not thinking, Super's in trouble, because he's gonna lift an island and throw it into the sun, and then I'm gonna get what I paid for and I'm gonna go home. So it would be interesting to see them actually kill. They did technically kill off Cap in the first Cap movie, kind of.
Right.
But then they brought him back in the last 10 seconds of the film. So,
true. So there was there really was, and that's a historical origin sequence where we know he's going to be under ice and he's going to come back.
Yeah.
So it's
the problem with this. Unfortunately, the problem with this is George Martin, because when he cut off Ned Stark's head, and I'm talking about the book, not even the TV show.
Sure.
I think that was a shocker that kind of beats all shockers. Now I'm numb.
So now you got nothing.
Yeah,
you got absolutely nothing.
Look, I don't want to see Cap die.
Right.
I don't want to see Iron Man die.
Yeah.
I don't care if their stories are over. I would like to see that each story end satisfactorily.
Sure.
So that.
But is that enough? Though? Is that enough
away?
To capture the hype? That's, I guess, what I'm kind of talking about. I mean,
it depends on what the.
Let's not question whether hype is good or not, because I know that's sometimes where you might lean. Is that necessary? Can we just enjoy the movie? But I mean, the question I'm posing to you is: right now, DC has the hype. Would a character death kind of give the Marvel Universe an edge that they don't quite have right now, or give them, something? I mean, I guess you could technically say, sorry, spoiler people, but it's been out for 2 months now. Guardians had a death in it. That was, pretty good, but it's not a beloved character. It's not like a Captain America dying, or an Iron Man dying, or someone big like that.
And I think, that's for the kids, though. I mean, no adult's going to be like, damn, I killed off Cap, man. I don't know what to do tomorrow.
Have you met some fans?
Well-adjusted adults. No, those fans are not adults. Fans are fans.
Yeah.
Fans are a strange breed of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess you'd have to. A big event like Infinity Wars, you're going to have to blitz a couple of people.
I think so.
I think
so.
Have to do that.
All right. We do this every week. We bring you the most fantastical pop culture news out there. We like to call this segment "Spinning the Racks," and we have a
spin the rack, spin the rack. Yeah,
I don't laugh as much.
That's what I look for every week.
But I still laugh every time.
That's my bread and butter right there.
So, some weird and wild news out there. Gal Gadot. Is it Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot.
Well, Gal.
Or actually, it's Jal.
No, it's not Jal.
Yes, it is.
There's like it's.
I say
there's some.
It's Gal Gadot.
I mean, not that I care about pronouncing
people's names correctly. It's not Gal Gadot. It's Gal Gadot.
I feel like there's a different way that we're not pronouncing it right. Anyway, she is not
making... You don't pronounce your name right, so, I mean, I don't understand.
She is not making 46 times less than Henry Cavill. There was a viral, misleading stat that suggested that Henry Cavill's Man of Steel salary is a huge demonstration of the wage gap, which we actually talked about.
Disparity.
Yeah, we actually talked about with Sarah Walton, great women's entrepreneur business coach, a few episodes ago. But so there's a rumor going out there that Henry Cavill made like $14 million for Batman v Superman and all that other stuff, and
well deserved.
Gal
Because he was a man.
Made $300,000, which would mean that he made...
She made that much? It's ridiculous. What's this world coming to?
Why isn't she in the kitchen making me a sandwich? Oh, yeah.
I said that, but for different reasons.
I took it there, right?
For completely different reasons.
Yeah, I took it there. Mm-hmm. The funny thing is we have like a studio audience of 3 wonderful females in there. But they get the joke. But no, as it turns out...
Like we always say, I don't have to outrun them. I just have to outrun you.
Henry Cavill, his earnings included bonuses for box office performance. So while he actually also received $300,000 for the very first Superman movie, but because it ended up being a sequel, and now he's in the Justice League movie, and it made a crap ton of money.
Right.
His salary ended up going up, and the same thing with hers. So there's not a huge. It's not one of these like shining examples of the wage gap that everyone was kind of like talking about.
What is this with them making money in movies and stuff like that?
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And the sandwiches is just getting worse and worse. Like guys making them. Guys
we don't want that.
Yeah, they don't know how to do this,
Oh, man, there's so many...
look at the mayonnaise. This is like a smothered mayonnaise.
My brain that
Only a man would do this. This is a cholesterol sandwich. Like, it's just pure cholesterol in my sandwich. There's no greenery anywhere.
Silver and Black director hopes to start casting soon. So this one's actually an interesting one. The Silver Sable and Black Cat movie hopes to begin work on casting the film soon.
Because everybody's looking forward to that.
Oh, God. The news that Sony would be moving forward with the spin-off film, which brings 2 of the most beloved female characters from the Spider-Man comics to the forefront, came as a legitimate shock to many comic book fans and industry insiders. After all...
And still no Black Scorpion, Black Widow movie.
Right.
Still no Scarlett Johansson. In their stable, and they're still not making a solo movie for her.
Now, Ghost in the Shell did not do very well, though.
Doesn't matter.
Did not do very well.
All the movies that Scarlett Johansson has been in, and she's been highly showcased in.
Yeah.
They've all Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
is now is widely considered the best of all the Marvel movies, right?
Yeah.
And she is a prominent. She's a second lead in that, right? And so she's in their stable, as derogatory as that term is. And Wonder Woman,
it's all about how you hear it.
It kind of is.
I mean, it's a common industry term.
Move on. And Wonder Woman is this huge hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Conventional wisdom is like, let's roll out our woman superhero, right? No, they're gonna. Let's go find the most obscure female characters
but it's not Marvel,
we have.
Again, and see, this is 2 different universes, and that's the whole point. This Silver Sable, Black Cat, and Venom taking place outside the Marvel universe
because that's all they got.
I know. Sony's like, I want the money.
Sony doesn't know what it's doing, and it never had, which is why they lost Spider-Man in the first place.
It's also why they got hacked. That's exactly why they got hacked.
Really?
Yeah, because they didn't know what they were doing.
Only idiots get hacked?
Exactly.
All right. It's good to know.
Batman...
Step it up a little bit.
The Batman will feature a detective version of The Dark Knight.
I'll put that on the shelf with The Wolverine when that finally comes out on DVD.
Previous Batman films have showcased the Caped Crusader as a superhero, but the upcoming movie, The Batman, will embrace the character's detective side, according to director Matt Reeves, who right now is getting a lot of hype because the War for the Planet of the Apes getting a lot of great reviews right now.
Which, is only fair. It's a story about talking apes that kill people.
He's saying, I think there's a chance to do an almost noir-driven detective version of Batman. Me fail English. Detective version of Batman that is point-of-view driven in a very, very powerful way that is hopefully going to connect you to what's going on inside of his head and inside of his heart.
Oh, yeah. We don't
tug at the heart
because we don't know what's inside Batman's head.
No.
He doesn't wear it on his body, right? The guy dresses up like a bat. We need to get further into his head. What makes this man tick? Like, all right. So, I don't know. He had a bad peanut one day, and he decided he was delusional. He decided to be the Batman.
Delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, and the parents thing that was just that's
just there.
Yeah, that's a coincidence, right? There's something more psychologically damaging that happened to him.
We're going to ask this question next week, but
like
the question applies to this too. Do we need another Batman movie now? Do we need it?
We don't need any movies.
Really? No,
that's not a valid question.
No, that's a general answer. I'm talking very specific. Is the Batman franchise run its course?
That's a valid question. If they take a different spin on it, like this guy is planning to do, then maybe we will discover that, hey, we did need this.
I guarantee Andy Serkis will be in it somehow, some way.
Andy Serkis is in my living room right
Andy
now.
Serkis is in, like, every
he's like
movie.
eating my chips.
He is like green screen.
And Andy,
everywhere.
put those chips back. Those are not for you.
So this one actually was given to us by our producer Sam Leibowitz, talking about Blade Runner.
Getting proactive on us.
I know.
You work those controls. Don't you do the thinking. We'll do the thinking.
Ridley Scott made Blade Runner 2049. So you stop asking about Deckard.
I'm loving Ridley Scott's angry.
Yeah,
first of all, it's Deckard. I should have done that for you, but
Jean-Luc Deckard.
Yes, yeah, there you go.
No good.
Well, yeah, all right, now we're being targeted by geeks all over the world now.
That's about time. The only way we're going to get ratings.
I'm loving Ridley Scott's angry old man thing. I'm loving his old angry old man thing.
Yeah,
I'm loving it. Like I don't care what you think. I'm making another Alien movie. I'm making 10 more Alien movies. I'm gonna make a Blade Runner. I'm gonna make Blade Runner 6. I'm going to turn Deckard into a woman.
He's like Stan Leeing it in a way, right?
Yeah,
he's like, I'm just going to go
like
everywhere.
He's a combination Stan Lee and George Lucas. Like
yeah.
I'm an angry old filmmaker, and I don't care what you think anymore, and I'm loving it.
So it's going to answer the question about whether or not Harrison Ford's character has been a replicant all along. Would that is the sequel going to lessen the impact of the first one?
Finally,
is it gonna make you like not enjoy it as much as you might have?
Here we go with that question again. Stop asking me that question. Stop. Is this gonna make you poop like the last thing made you poop? You're like, what the heck?
I will tell you what can make you poop.
Yeah.
It is.
We already had that story.
Shot. That was. This is what we got in our green room access. There's a tequila shot, a vodka and grenadine shot, and a Jameson shot. Followed up.
Do the audience really want to know?
If you eat Mr. Softy after
good
drinking,
living through better pooping from Mike Dolce, that's what they want to hear.
Night of drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have Mr. Softy immediately after. It seems like such a good.
That puts a whole new connotation on the name Mr. Softy
at the
now.
Time. And with that, we will wrap up another episode of Secrets of the Sire.
Great.
Tune in
another killed discussion for a stupid joke.
Next week. Well, it's 8:48. We did a fine job of killing an hour. I want to thank all the people that were joining us live on Facebook. I want to thank Kevin Veldman from the Comic Noobs podcast. Next week, we're going to get into Spider-Man Homecoming. We're going to talk all about it. We've got Ultimate Spider-Man writer. She got the ding back there. Did you get that on camera? Or did you get that on the sound?
Did you get that on camera?
Not
time to end the show, Mike.
Good night.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Who do you want to connect with?
Are you an entrepreneur or intrapreneur looking to build your following?
Welcome to our show.
Follow Me Friday with Joan
and Priya.
Tune in every Friday at noon Eastern
on talkradio.nyc.
We're your digital connectors. Woo woo! What's that?
Hey, all you crazy listeners. Looking to boost your business? Why not advertise on Talking Alternative with very reasonable rates? Interested? Simply email at info@talkingalternative.com.
Are you into comics, movies, and pop culture at large? What about music and TV? Then you're in for a treat. This is Michael Dolce, your host on talkingalternative.com. I've been professionally writing comic books, screenplays, and music articles for almost 15 years. Catch my show, Secrets of the Sire, at its new primetime slot, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and get the inside scoop on the pop culture universe you love to talk about. For more info, go to secretsofthesire.com.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network at www.talkingalternative.com. Now, broadcasting 24 hours a day. Talking Alternative.
Hi, this is Rob Kay.
And I'm Callie Alpert.
And we're hosts of The Rob and Callie Show. Are you looking for a show that talks about real stuff like life, love, the pursuit of being yourself?
Then you have come to the right place because we cover topics ranging from chivalry to gratitude to your relationship with money and everything in between.
So listen to us on The Rob and Callie Show Tuesdays, 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.